Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and it's the December review. I have made a bunch of cool bracelets, and it's time to maybe inspire you to go back and check them out in case you missed one. So yeah, the month started out with me still working off of a pattern that I really had no interest in actually making, but I was just helping out a friend. So the first tutorial, actually, I didn't make it, but that's okay. The first one I did make was this one, which I think turned out really super cool. This was me kind of just going by feel as I created a pattern, and I like doing that. It was the way I kind of started out when I was first making bracelets, except for back then I wasn't using a computer to help me create the pattern on graph paper that I could go and watch and study as I was making the bracelet. So originally I used to have to do this all just out of my memory, like once I got to the center part and then go back the other way. It was the only way to have the symmetry at the time, which was difficult, needless to say. That was really hard. So that was my first bracelet of the month, and I kind of enjoyed that whole vibe, so I did it again. I just designing as I went, and I came up with this one, and like the center of it just really, I love how that turned out. And I like the fact that it wasn't just an endless amount of this, thing. Like there was something that breaks up the pattern. And again, when you go kind of random and you're just kind of attacking it in a way that you don't know what's going to come from it, I think there's something to be gained. There's something fun that you will get out of those kind of designs. So I really want to encourage you guys to give it a shot. And then I kept the thing going with the neons. So when I cut the floss for the first two neons, it left me with enough floss to do one more. And I was like, okay, I'll do that and see how it goes. And again, went with the kind of more randomish design. But here I discovered that because there is so much more of the hot colors and so little of the purple, which was the only cold color, that it kind of seemed a little bit out of balance to me. It still looks cool, but maybe it could have been a little bit better. Maybe I could improve on that. And then the next one was another freestyle design, but this time, instead of doing single-stranded like these were, I doubled up the floss, which makes it less knots from end to end, and but still just as long as the others. And yeah, I think this one had a really good balance. It wasn't the neon colors, but more like regular floss, but still in that whole yellow, orange, red, purple kind of thing that I had been going with. And yeah, I really like this one a lot. I really think this is something that I would have worn back in the day. Mind you, I've got all these that I'm wearing right now, so not really ready to trade one out just yet, but I'm thinking about it. Not sure which one I would actually do. So the next was this. So this was really simple, just an arrowhead bracelet. But the thing was, I wanted to put the charm in here because a friend of mine is interested in getting a bunch of bracelets made by me with charms on them. And I kind of decided what color I wanted the centerpiece to be and how I wanted to lay it out. And I wanted to show you that even I still pull out graph paper and sort out a pattern when I know that I'm looking for a certain aspect or something about it in particular. I do that. So there. Next came this. So this was a pattern that somebody had sent to me over on Instagram and said, could I help make a pattern, or did I know what the number was? And I'm like, I don't go searching for pattern numbers. When I'm looking for something, I'll make the pattern itself. The original was like two of these back to back, so there wasn't this extra row at the beginning and end. But when I tried to like figure out like how big it was and whatever, I ended up having to add this in just so the bracelet would be long enough. It's a really cool looking thing, but I really didn't care for the center. It felt like if all of these are going over and coming back around and stuff, then why is it kind of joined here? And it was enough of a thing. I'm like, you know what? Let me try it and see what happens, and then make all of the over and unders and stuff really a thing. And so I redid the pattern just so that way I could change up how the center looked. And I don't know if we compare the two, which one is your favorite? I'm really genuinely curious. Color wise, maybe the brown, but the pattern wise, I definitely think the purple. That's just me though. So this kind of set me off in the whole Celtic-y kind of mood, and thought, well, you know, what would happen if we did it in single strands and we did 12 string? Well, it's 24 strings coming down. It's 12 that goes into the kumi, which is a really nice number for making a nice kumi loop to it. But I went at it and I just had a field day just throwing in the things, and it turned out pretty darn cool. So that was a lot of fun. But then I was like, you know what? Let's try making it different. And I took out the little X in the middle, and then it became really complicated here. And then for the life of me, I couldn't figure out how to kind of reduce this down or change something in here, because each one of these paths is joined to something. And I almost had a meltdown in real time while doing this pattern. And I was just like, I have no idea what I've done wrong, but I can't seem to work my way out of it. So I went ahead and made the bracelet and stuff. And I started thinking about like what I had done to make it like this, and decided I would go back and try the pattern one more time where I didn't have it so congested in the center. I wanted to make it like this. And yeah, I really like how this one had turned out. This is, you know, the colors are a little bit light. It wasn't the actual dark shade here, wasn't my first choice, but because I needed 2 skeins, I had to go with what I had. So yeah, I would have liked this to have been a little bit darker, but that said, it still turned out really super cool. I really like the pattern. I like the way it intertwines and does its thing. And yeah, so that is my whole collection for the month. I kind of like how this all turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And yeah, we're gonna do all kinds of new stuff. So happy New Year, and as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.